What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I'm going to be sharing my top 8 Call of Duty games. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to say, oh, you're just copying Drifter because he just recently did this. Well, people have been asking me to do this for a very long time, and I saw that Drifter did it, and it looked like it was a fun thing to do, so sure, say I'm copying Drifter all you want. This is my personal list, and the reason it's a top 8 rather than top 10 is I'm going to be focusing more on multiplayer than anything, and I've only played 8 multiplayer games of Call of Duty before. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so starting off at number 8, we're going to go with World at War here. Now, the main reason I chose World at War as my number 8 at the bottom of the list is mainly because I didn't have too much experience with the multiplayer, and keeping in mind this list is mainly focused on multiplayer. I had a ton of fun with the World at War campaign. I think they had one of the best campaigns out of all of the Call of Duty games for World at War. It was one of my favorite. But for multiplayer, I had some very bad experiences, and I'll tell you the reason why I didn't play this very much, for multiplayer at least. So my very first game of World at War multiplayer, keeping in mind I had played COD 4 for about a year and a half before I jumped into World at War multiplayer, so I was kind of late to the scene there, like everyone already knew what was going on in the game, and I just kind of hopped into a game. I got into a game mid-match. This was my very first game of World at War. Got into a game mid-match, and within 3 seconds, I got bit by a dog and killed. Spawned in, got killed by a dog within probably another 5 or 6 seconds. So without ever seeing an enemy, I got killed by a dog twice. Now keep in mind at this time, I had no idea what the dogs were. At that point, I thought they were just like roaming around the map freely. I didn't realize they were a kill streak because I didn't look into this stuff beforehand. I just hopped into a game, got bit by a dog twice, rage quit immediately after because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I haven't even seen an enemy yet and I've died twice. So I quit that, tried another match, got into a game late again, and guess what? Within about 10 seconds, I got shot from underneath the map by a guy that was glitching because there used to be a lot of under-map glitches with that game. I got shot from underneath the map and I was just like, screw it, took the disc out right away, popped in COD 4, and I played COD 4 for the rest of the year. So I will say I'm a little biased here because I honestly didn't have too much playtime with World at War, but that's why it's at the bottom of my list. Moving on to number 7, we have Modern Warfare 3. Now, I did enjoy myself with Modern Warfare 3, just like with all of the Call of Duties on my list. I don't want it to come off as like, oh, this is number 7, so I hate this game. I really enjoyed myself with Modern Warfare 3, just not as much as a lot of the other Call of Duty games. One thing I loved about Modern Warfare 3 was the specialist streaks. I think that was an amazing addition, and when I go back to play Modern Warfare 3, that's usually all I will do is play with specialist streaks on, because I find that really, really enjoyable. Having said all that, there was a lot of things I didn't like about Modern Warfare 3. The connections were very, very frustrating to me, I found. There was a lot of times where it felt like the enemies were just a second ahead of me. And it wasn't the traditional lag. It wasn't lag that you could feel. It was just, you would die instantly. You would die in one bullet. Or you would die before you even see the guy. And it's just extremely frustrating. And this is one of the biggest issues I had with Modern Warfare 3. Also, the map design. That was a big one with Modern Warfare 3. I think the environments were great. The look and feel of the maps were awesome in Modern Warfare 3. There was great variety of locations and color palettes and everything like that. But to me, they were just kind of a big mess. There wasn't very good flow with the maps, in my opinion. A lot of the maps just kind of feel like a jumbled mess of lanes, and there's like laneways all over the place. There was no real symmetry or flow to it. And it's not that I want symmetrical maps every single time. That would get boring. That does get boring. Black Ops 2, that got a little bit boring because they were all the same. But I do prefer maps that are a little bit more structured and have a little bit more flow. And that's a personal preference thing, and I just didn't like the way that the Modern Warfare 3 maps flowed. There was a bunch of other little things I didn't like about Modern Warfare 3, like some of the death streaks and things like that, but those are all like really small nitpicky things, and we're not going to be talking about all the little minute details with this video. So next up, for number 6, we have Black Ops 1. Now, I know Black Ops 1 has like a big fan base of people that are hardcore Black Ops 1 fans, and they love Black Ops 1, and again, I did enjoy myself with Black Ops 1, but not as much as a lot of the other games. I don't know what it was with Black Ops 1. Looking back now, there's a lot of things that I can really appreciate as someone that's now more experienced with Call of Duty, But at the time when I was still kind of a Call of Duty noob, I guess not really too much, I'd been playing it for a few years, but at the time I was an Infinity Ward guy. I really preferred the Infinity Ward feel, and I didn't like the feel of the Treyarch games. Just the way the hit detection worked, the way your character moved, just everything felt kind of clunky to me at the time. Going back now, I can really appreciate it a whole lot more, and I really enjoy Black Ops 1 more so now than I did back then. But at the time, I really didn't like it. A big thing about it also was the gun balance. Gun balance was pretty difficult in Black Ops 1. You had the FAMAS for almost the entire life cycle of Black Ops 1. The FAMAS just beat everything at every range. Of course, there were other guns that you could use. They weren't completely unusable, but the FAMAS was just a completely versatile gun that excelled in every single situation. And it was kind of frustrating to see that when you're trying to mess around with some of the underused guns and the FAMAS just melts you even if you're playing to the strengths of your gun. I just found that kind of frustrating. So that's why Black Ops 1 just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth at the time. Moving on to number 5, we have Ghosts. And some people might be surprised at how far up on this list Ghosts is. I like Ghosts, but there were definitely some issues, and it's definitely one of those games where you can do extremely well in Ghosts. This is something I've noticed lately. I can jump on and just play a game of Team Deathmatch. I can get like 35 kills and 5 deaths, and that will feel like a slow and boring game to me in Ghosts a lot of the times. Whereas if you play that in Advanced Warfare and you get a score like that, it's like, holy crap, I just did amazing. Or even Call of Duty 4 or any of the other games, Black Ops 2. If you play that and you get a score like that, you're like, wow, I just went off. That was awesome. In Ghosts, it was like, yeah, that was a lot of running around. That was kind of slow and boring, and most of my kills just came from my ability to hear enemy footsteps. So I enjoyed Ghosts. I still enjoy going back and playing Ghosts every now and then. But to me, it felt a lot like a hide-and-seek sort of game. It was really like, get in towards your enemy spawn and then listen and see what you can hear and kind of sneak around, see what you can find. And then it's basically whoever sees the other person first wins the gunfight almost all the time. So it really encouraged that sort of hide-and-seek playstyle. And for me, that kind of ruined the game. There wasn't really that sense of gunfights anymore in Ghosts. I keep trying to say Advanced Warfare. In Ghosts, there really wasn't a sense of gunfights, like my gun skill beat your gun skill. It was more so, yes, I positioned myself better so I could see you first, and then that's why I got the kill. So I think if they would have increased the health a little bit with Ghosts and had it like 130 health by default, so heavy duty health, I think it would have made the game a lot more enjoyable for a lot of people. And a lot of that had to do with the simple fact that the hit detection was amazing. And I really liked that there was good hit detection. It was nice knowing that when I shot a guy, I would hit a guy. It really felt good when that happened, but because of that, there was rarely any time to react to being shot. If you're being shot, you're dead. Or if you're shooting a guy, he's dead most of the time. So that's what I really found frustrating with Ghosts. Moving on to number 4. Some people might be surprised by this one as well, Advanced Warfare. Now, a lot of people really bash on Advanced Warfare. I think part of it has to do with the fact that it's the current Call of Duty, and that's what we're supposed to do because that's the COD cycle. So for a lot of people, they might be wondering why this isn't number 8 right now. But I enjoy myself a lot with Advanced Warfare. It provides a unique Call of Duty experience. I would almost call it not even a Call of Duty experience. It still has that same sort of feel as Call of Duty because it's the same engine or very similar. But with the EXO movement, it changed everything. Now, the reason it's not higher up on my list is because it doesn't feel like a traditional Call of Duty game. And in a lot of cases, it kind of throws tactics and map control and like big picture thinking. It kind of throws that out the window. So Ghosts, I was saying it was more like hide and seek. This one is more like just jumbled chaos where you're jumping around. But that is fun. The jumbled chaos is fun to an extent. And I really see myself this time next year or a couple years down the road, I see myself coming back and playing Advanced Warfare just because it's its own unique experience. And I think I'm going to kind of miss just jumping way up in the air and shooting people and dodging bullets and all that kind of stuff. It's really fun to me, but it also gets very frustrating and it gets old very fast when there's not really much for tactical gameplay. Moving on to number 3. These top 3, I love all of them so much, so it was really hard placing like which one was number 1, 2, and 3, because I love all of these almost equally. But number 3 is going to be Modern Warfare 2. Now, Modern Warfare 2, I've always said, is the game where I've had the most fun, but also the most frustration out of any game I've ever played. Not even just Call of Duty games. Out of any game I've ever played, I've had the most fun playing Modern Warfare 2, and I've had the most frustration playing Modern Warfare 2. The introduction of all of the different kill streaks was amazing for this. That's what really made this game, in my opinion. That, along with map design, the map design was excellent for this game. I don't know how they did it, but the maps in this game, for the most part, there's a couple kind of odd ones, but the maps in this game are amazing to me. I love the maps in Modern Warfare 2. Every map seems to have its own feel and playstyle around it, and with every single map in this game, you can be successful with almost any playstyle. That's what I really like about it. And it's just a lot of fun. The thing I really like about it is the kill streaks, though. That's what made this game so fun. It was chasing that high of earning the kill streaks and earning that tactical nuke. Because the kill streaks did work in this game. When you earned a Harrier, it was rare it didn't get you at least like 4 or 5 kills and lead you into your chopper gunner that got you like 10 to 20 kills. It's awesome being on that end of it, but then you look at the other side of it. What about the people that are being killed over and over by these kill streaks? And that's where all the frustration comes in as well. Well, not all the frustration. I think most of the frustration actually comes in when you have the issues with the game, which is first, in my opinion, quick scoping with Sleight of Hand Pro. That was very, very frustrating to be melted instantly. And also, the biggest complaint I have with this game, and I'm sure everyone else has the same complaint, is the one-man army danger close noob tubes. If they had simply made it so your noob tubes take up your tier 1 perk slots, I think this game would be so much better than it is. But as it is right now, that's something that is a game-breaking issue to me. And that's what really frustrates me with this game. I don't mind being killed by kill streaks. I do mind being killed by people that are just using those one-man army noob tubes, because they require almost no skill at all. You just kind of point in the general direction. You have infinite ammo, and you can keep your life going on while just replenishing your noob tubes constantly. And it's just really frustrating. So Modern Warfare 2, I love it, and I hate it at the same time. Moving on to number 2, Call of Duty 4. I love Call of Duty 4. This was my introduction to Call of Duty, at least multiplayer Call of Duty. I've been playing single player Call of Duty since, I think, Call of Duty 2. But COD 4 was my very first introduction to multiplayer, and I just love going back to this game. I still remember my first games. I can still go back to this game, and I get that same nostalgic feeling, and it feels great. It's generally quite balanced. It's a very balanced game, in my opinion. There's definitely a couple little things that could be tweaked and fixed, but for the most part, this game was actually quite balanced. The perk system was good. I didn't mind the stopping power because of Juggernaut and everything. They kind of balance each other out nicely. And this game is just so much fun. The map design was great. This was the introduction of the perk system for any game that I remember back then. I think it was like the first game that had this sort of tiered perk system that really worked. And also just the nice simple kill streaks were nice as well. So everybody's just got UAV, airstrike, and then their chopper. And it just felt nice and balanced. Everybody had that same setup with score streaks, or kill streaks, sorry, back then. And I still, just to this day, when I go back and play Call of Duty 4, it just makes my day. I love it, as long as I'm not running into any hackers. So, most of you that have been around my channel know what my number 1 will be, or through process of elimination, you'll know what my number 1 is, and that is Black Ops 2. For me, Black Ops 2 was sort of the epitome of balance and fun factor. Now, with a lot of games, if you go too far to the balanced end, it gets kind of boring and stale, because everything's the same, everything's balanced out perfectly. But with this game, it was still fun, at least for me. I had fun right to the end of the life cycle. And then even throughout Ghost's life cycle, I went back and I was playing Black Ops 2. And even to this day, I go back and play Black Ops 2. And I always enjoy myself playing Black Ops 2, or almost always. There's a couple little things that kind of frustrated me, that being quickscoping. I can see why people complain about the C4s. I was more of a C4 user myself. Sorry, everybody. But I can see why people are frustrated by the way C4s worked in Black Ops 2. And there was a couple other little things, but the thing I really like about Black Ops 2 is it's just a nice, polished game. The map design was great in this game, very, very balanced, very competitive oriented. It rewarded skilled players. The guns were balanced. You could use any gun in the game, and be successful, which I really liked. I could pick up any gun I wanted, and I could still lead nearly every single lobby that I played in, and I love that part about it. The score streak system was amazing. Just the introduction of the score streaks was awesome. I think it could have been balanced better for Team Deathmatch, but for objective game modes, it was great. The score streaks themselves were awesome. They felt really good to earn. A lot of the newer Call of Duties, I'm talking mainly like Ghosts and then somewhat Advanced Warfare with a lot of the streaks, it feels very underwhelming when you earn a streak. Like, it almost feels like, I don't even know if it's worth the 3 seconds it's going to take to call this streak in, or I could just keep my gun up and keep killing people. Whereas in Black Ops 2, when you earned a streak, it was like, yes, okay, this thing's probably going to help me a little bit at least, or this is going to help me a lot. But it also wasn't quite at Modern Warfare 2's level of, oh yeah, I got this streak, everybody's dead, and I'm going to spawn kill them for the next minute of this game. The Swarm was somewhat like that, but the Swarm was also easily countered with Blind Eye, I believe. I believe it was Blind Eye that countered that, or Cold Blooded, one of them. But in either case, it just felt great. It was a nice balance of when you earn a streak, it feels like you actually earned that streak, and it was actually worthwhile to earn the streak. There was map control, there was tactical gameplay. The maps all played quite differently. Well, not all. A lot of them were very similar, but the maps definitely had their own feel. There was a great color palette with the game, which I think is very important, is to have a good color palette with a game that you're spending a lot of time on. Weapon balance was amazing, and it was very, very fun. A couple issues that it did have, of course, were hit detection. That was the biggest complaint, I think, with Black Ops 2, was the hit detection. And I see that. There is a lot of times where you shoot right through enemies, and it's a little bit frustrating for sure. And then quickscoping was another one of my big issues. Quickscoping was just a little bit on the easy side for Black Ops 2. I know a lot of you guys will disagree, but it's my opinion, so deal with it. So there we go. There's my top 8 Call of Duty games. Let me know in the comment section below what your top Call of Duty games are. If you've only played like 4 of them, then just give me your top 4. If you've played 8 of them, give me your top 8. If you've played 10 of them, give me your top 10. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.